Hello, hello. Welcome to this week's summer social making bead and tassel necklaces. So today will be a quick little project. I'm really excited to make these. I think they do look really lovely, and I've done mine with an adjustable knot at the top. So let me just put that on. So they're really fun. It will be definitely like a tassel skill class. So you'll learn how to make little tassels. You don't have to put them on a necklace. Sorry, you cannot see that because it's too low. Yeah, so you'll be able to use your tassels for other projects as well if you prefer tassel earrings or just a single tassel, that sort of thing. So I'll just give you a little basic tassel lesson. I'll wait. So on to our tassels. So this is what you'll need today to make your tassel necklaces. I have some cotton cord. It's called bead thonging wax cotton cord. So it's just a cotton rope, but it's good for doing these like adjustable knots because it's waxed. So doesn't slides around but isn't like too tricky to adjust. So I've got some of this. Let me know if you'd be interested in me stocking it because I could add it to the shop. It's good for kind of necklaces, that sort of thing. So I've got some cotton cord, some beads as well. I think in their little kits there's 6 beads, but you could obviously add more of your own beads to the necklace if you want before you tie the end. So I've got some beads. I've got a little bit of cotton yarn, so I'll just let you know how much I've got here because I've had this from another workshop. So I've got one, so it's 1.5 meters. So I've got that 1.5 meters in 3 different colors. And I've got a little loom tool, which is the same width as the robot tool, the narrow end. So just any sort of little tool. And that's what you would get in your little packet. So I'm going to open mine up. So we all have the same amount of material. I don't remember how long I made the cord in these, so I'll open this up to see. There we go. So the cord, in case you're doing your own, is 1 meter. So just so that you know, so we've got all the same things. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do with our tassels is we need to cut the little head string. So I'm just going to cut 20 centimeters off of my yarn. So I've just measured about 20 centimeters. So not too much, but just enough to wrap around a couple times. And I'll just put that to the side. So we'll use that to wrap the top of the tassel. And then just choose any color you want for your first tassel. So I'm going to do the pink one first. So I've got my little beads. I'll just put them to the side here. And I've got my little loom tool. So to start our tassel, so they're a little bit different from the pom-poms in that you need to start and finish on the same side. Where the pom-poms, it didn't matter, you just wrapped as you liked. But with the tassels, we need to start and finish on the same side. So I'm just going to notch my yarn in one of the little notches there, and I'm just going to wrap around until I run out of yarn. So there we go. So I've started and finished on the same row. I think that's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't know, 12, 13 wraps, just in case you're using a different kind of yarn. You don't want it too thick, but just enough that you've got like a nice little tassel here. So just do it by eye. So I'm going to have the 2 ends towards me. And then I'm going to get my cord. So once you've wrapped it around, you put the end of your yarn in the little notch. I'm going to just be threading my tassels on as I make them. So I'm going to do the first tassel. So we're just going to slide that through the middle and just pull that up to the top of the tassel there, so that on my necklace they'll be hanging down like that. And it doesn't matter where on the cord, just somewhere in the middle, because we can slide it around later, so it doesn't matter. Just enough that it's not going to fall off either end there. And then I've got my little pink piece. You could do different colors for the head wraps if you want to have like little contrasting colors. That's good too. So I'm just going to thread my yarn down, and I'm going to wrap it once around. So I'm just going to go over and down again. I want to have a little tail so I can tie the knot. I'm going to do it one more time, and then we'll do the first knot to hold it in place, and then we'll take it off the tool. Oops, I lost my little tail there. So I've got it wrapped twice around, and then like we tie the pom-pom knots, I'm going to do that double overhand knot. So I'm just going to go once around, left over right, and just pull that gently, just to hold it in place. And I'm going to slide it off the tool. I'm going to do this a few times because we've got a few tassels, just in case I'm going a bit too fast for you. And just slide that up to the top. And when you're happy with where your tassel is, just pull that nice and tight, and then just do another knot to secure it. And then that's your first little tassel. No, it doesn't look like much of a tassel yet, so just use your scissors to cut that, and then you can just hold it down and then cut away that yarn. There we go. So we've got our first little tassel there. Ready for the second. So while I'm here, so on my sample necklace, I've put a bead in between the little tassels. So you'll need to do that if you want to have your beads in between. Just add a little tassel, add a little bead, sorry. And then choose your next color. So I'm going to do blue next. So just pull off the blue. I've got my little head yarn there, and we're going to do the same thing. So just put your yarn in one of the notches and then just wrap around. So I'll count just in case. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I cannot quite make it around another time, so I'm just going to end at that 11 wraps, because we want to make sure our two ends are on the same side here. So I started down here, I want to end down there as well. So I've got my wraps, and then just take the end of your cord and slide it through the center. So it's just going in that little gap in between. Just slide it through the center and then pull it up to the top. You want to get it at the top of the tool. Just pull it through a little bit. And then I'm going to do the wrapping around the top of the tassel. So just thread that through, wrap it over once, twice, and then do that double overhand. So left over right, left over right. And that just gives it like a bit of a stronger hold than just like a single knot. So once I've got that on there, I can just carefully slide it off and just wiggle those up to the top. That's the fiddliest bit of the tassel. And then you can always just pull these down a little bit, smooth it out, and then once you're happy, just pull that knot a little bit tighter and then do a single knot. And then cut, trim. So just make sure you cut all the loops. Cut them all. a little trim. There we go. Tassel 2 done. How is everyone doing with their tassels? Have you got one on there? I'm gonna add another bead. So let's see, I've done 2 on this side, so I'll add 2 beads and just wait for everyone to catch up. This is a really quick craft, so you could always take a bit more time to do your tassels, add some more beads to it. So I'll do a 3rd tassel and then I'll show you how to tie the knots on the cord so that it's adjustable. So we're going to do an orange tassel, then I'll add a couple more beads. Yeah, 2 beads at the end of the orange one. Okay, so for the orange one, on to tassel 3. So I've got my little head string. Okay, we're going to start on the 3rd tassel. So they're all the same. So I'm just going to notch my yarn there. And then wrap it around about 11 or 12 times, depending how long your yarn is. And I'm going to notch it at the bottom there, so both of my ends are on the same side. Grab my head yarn there, and then just slide it. Oh, sorry, not that one. Grab the cotton cord there, slide that through. I was wondering, I was like, oh, it was so much easier on the other ones. It's the wrong string. Wedge that up to the top. There we go. And then I'm going to wrap that head string around the middle bit. So you can just go once. You only have to do it 1 time if you don't want a bigger wrap section. If you want to have a more like obvious top wrap, then wrap it a few more times. So I'm just doing it 2 times and then my knot, but you could wrap it a few more times if you wanted to. So I've gone twice around. I'm just going to do that first knot. So left over right, over right. There we go. And then I'm ready to just wedge that off. Just tighten it a little bit and then slide it up. There we go. Always just pull it from this side to make sure it's nice and smooth. And then once you're happy with it, just pull that knot a little bit tighter and then close it. And then you're ready to just cut and trim your tassel. Like that. And then we've got all 3 of our tassels. I'm just going to pull them down to the middle. All 3 of our tassels on there. I can add my other beads. Now is the time to add any other like beads or decorations that you want before we tie the knots. So just add these on. So from this side, I've got all the knots in the back there. So that looks quite good. Oops. So those are my little tassels, and because we're using cotton cord, if you've got a few tassels that are a bit like wiry or pointing out, you can always like spray them or damp them a little bit with water and then just comb them out with a little tassel comb. I think I've got one around here. Oops. You could use a little tassel comb. If you've got a fine tooth comb, you can comb it and try to separate the strands a little bit. But if you want your tassels to be a little bit neater, you can just wet them so they're a bit damp and then just comb them out and let them dry. And they will be nice and tidy. Okay, so I'm ready to tie my adjustable knots at the top of my necklace. You don't have to do this. You could always just cord it or like tie a knot at the top. Just tie the two cords together. Just make sure it's big enough to go over the head, that sort of thing. Okay, so to make adjustable knots. So I'm going to hold the first one in my hand like this. And then the whole idea is to wrap this string around it a couple times and then it goes through. So it's hard to explain, but I'm gonna just wrap. So I've got the right one in my hand. I'm gonna wrap around my finger because it's a bit easier to see that way. And then the left one is going to go around, including that little string there, 2 times. And then it's going to go back through them. Can you see that? So I've wrapped it around 2 times and then the end has just gone back through. And then if you pull that, it will make this adjustable knot. So I'll do it again on the other side. So I've got my adjustable knot there. Just flip this around because it's easier for me to do it on that hand. So we've got the string that will be like the base, and then the tail, which will be the sliding knot. So I've just got that against my index finger. I just found that was the easiest way. So it's just going to wrap around once, twice, and then the tail, so you can see the base string is down there. The tail is just going to go under those 2 loops. See if I can get it in there. And then under that loop as well. And then when you pull it, it makes this adjustable knot. So I'm just going to pull them a little bit tighter. And then you can trim the little tails there. There we go. And then the necklace is finished. So we've got an adjustable cord. So if you're watching the replay, you can just rewind that section if you need to watch it again as you tie your little knots. So we've got an adjustable cord, 3 little tassels and some beads. There we go. To make our little tassel necklaces. There we go. There we go. So I hope you enjoyed. Oh, it's a little bit too long. I need to go get taller. So I hope that you enjoyed today's tassel necklace session, and I will catch up with you a bit later. Oh, actually, I wanted to show you. So September's kids sewing class will be dream catchers, and I've finished my little sample, so I'll just hold it up here. So we're going to have also some teal hearts. I've just done this one in pink. So this is going to be on September 25th. So it's a Saturday morning, and the kits are ready to post now. So I'll share the link in the group for that if you fancy joining me for a bit of a longer workshop. So these workshops are about an hour and a half. Longer workshop to make your own little moon and heart dream catcher. So really excited to make these. They've been on my list all year, and I finally got myself organized enough to order the hoops from the laser cutters. So they cut those a couple weeks for me, so I've got them all ready to go now, and I cannot wait to make dream catchers with you in September. So there we go, lots to look forward to. So I'll catch up with you in the group, and as always, let me know how your tassel necklaces go. Bye!